everyone. Today I am going to tell the story about Delphie and the magic spell. It's the series Magic Ballerinas. Delphie was in her dancing class. Not long ago, it had been filled with a bunch of girls dancing for their teacher, Madame Zaza. They had been practicing for their auditions the next day. Delphie turned on the CD and swiftly glided to the middle of the room. She was the only girl left in the room. She started doing her ballet steps, a pirouette, 1, 2, 3, but then she forgot. She said, ugh! She rushed back to the CD, stopped it and placed it from first again. She kept repeating these series of moves and adding some more again and again. She found it difficult to focus on all of her body parts at the same time. If she focused on her legs, she would forget her hands. When she focused on her hands, she forgot that her shoulders were upright and her head was facing the wrong way. When she finally corrected all those moves, when she returned to her legs, they were wrong again. She couldn't even fix this. Then Madame Zaza was looking inside the room where Delphie was dancing. She said, "Everything okay there, Delphie?" Delphie said, found it difficult not to admit the truth. And so she said, "Madame Zaza, I'm actually not doing that great. I try to focus on these moves, but then these moves go wrong." She said, "I'm finding it difficult to focus on all of the moves." Madame Zaza said, "Maybe don't try so hard," she said. Delphie found it difficult to understand her. All of her classmates had pink shoes, but Delphie had red shoes. She was given to them by Madame Zaza. The shoes were not only different from her classmates because they were a different color, but because they were magical. They would whisk her off to a magical land called Enchantia, where everything was so beautiful, and she had gone there previously. It was a very nice adventure there in Enchantia. The shoes began sparkling, and when she put them on, beautiful music came. She started dancing and she found herself in a rainbow of colors and in a theater in Enchantia. She put all of that back in back of her head and started focusing on her moves. When she finally looked up, she found out that it was almost time to go. She began doing her exercises near the walls. Just as she finished, Suki, a girl in her ballet class, came and said, "What are you doing?" Suki was a very mean girl, but she was very good in ballet. She said, "What are you doing?" Delphie said, "Oh, I'm just practicing for the auditions," said Suki. "Yes," said Delphie. Suki said, "Oh, you're never gonna be the bluebird." All of the girls wanted to be the bluebird. It was a woodland theme, and the bluebird was the main part in the show. Everyone knows it," said Suki. "I'm gonna be the bluebird. If you try hard enough, you'll be a rabbit or something," said Suki. Then she took her bag and left. "Ignore it, Delphie, ignore it," said Delphie to herself. Soon Delphie went home and to bed. There she was waiting for the shoes to sparkle again. She couldn't wait to go back to Enchantia on another adventure. But alas, the shoes did not sparkle, and soon Delphie went to sleep. But in the middle of the night, she was woken up by some sound. Then she realized that it was music. She glanced down and saw that the shoes were sparkling. She was so happy. She quickly tied the laces on her feet and then started dancing to the music. Soon she found a rainbow of colors in front of her, and then she found herself seated in the theater of Enchantia. But last time when she arrived, it was a beautiful spring. But this time it was cold winter. Something was horribly wrong, and Delphie could sense it. So, and then she saw a beautiful turquoise colored bird. It was a bluebird. It said, "Chirp, chirp." Delphie said, "Do you know what's wrong with this place?" The bluebird said, "I know exactly what's been wrong. The Rat King has put a spell on whole of Enchantia. He has a beautiful snow globe with a model of the city inside it. When he shakes it, snow falls down. But also, it happens in Enchantia. We've been trying to get rid of him, the snow globe, forever, but it's not working. The Rat King says he'll only stop the snow if he marries Princess Ariella. But Princess Ariella does not want to get married to him at all. And we're thinking that hopefully you can help us." "Oh, I do hope I can help," says Delphie. Soon, Delphie found herself in a beautiful palace. And it was the royal palace of Enchantia. They knocked on the door, and then Sky began to speak. Sky was the name of the bluebird. "I've brought Delphie here. Well, you told us that we needed her." "Oh yes, I'm so happy you're here." It was Griff, a nice kind butler man of the palace. He let Delphie and Sky in. Then Delphie saw the royal family: King Kristen, Queen Isabella, and Princess Ariella, and the sugar plum fairy, Sugar. "Sugar!" cried Delphie. She had met Sugar on her previous adventure here with the Nutcracker, and Sugar had become a good friend of hers. Sugar was the sugar plum fairy. Princess Ariella began crying uncontrollably. "Oh, I don't want to get married to the Rat King, but if I don't, all of Enchantia will be in trouble." Oh no, Ariella was very sad. The sugar plum fairy, Sugar, began consoling Ariella. "We need a plan," says Queen Isabella. Soon they heard a loud noise. Croak! "And what is that?" asked Delphie. "Oh, that is Priscilla, the toad. She's been croaking all the time since the swamp she lives in froze over. She doesn't stop croaking unless she is fed with some food." She said, "I wish we could get rid of her," said King Kristen. "Don't worry, we will find a way," said Queen Isabella. "But first we have to focus on Enchantia and the Rat King." Just then, Delphie had a beautiful idea. It struck her. She said, "How about we handle both at the same time?" "But how?" said King Tristan. "Well, if we convince the Rat King that Priscilla is a very beautiful princess and he marries her, and then Princess Ariella wouldn't have to marry the Rat King. And then Delphie had said, "But we just have to make Priscilla the toad beautifuler than Princess Ariella. We can do that with your magic, Sugar," said Delphie. "Yes, but how would we get the Rat King to destroy the snow globe? He says only if he marries Princess Ariella, he will destroy the snow globe." I got an idea. Will said that Priscilla will only marry him on a sunny day, and so he will break the snow globe, she said. Brilliant! Then the sugar began doing a beautiful dance of ballet. At the end, she stopped with the arabesque and flunked her magic wand in front of Priscilla. Then she became a very, very beautiful princess, even beautifuler than Princess Ariella. Oh my, she's very beautiful, said Griff, the butler. Yes, that she is very, very beautiful indeed. But how do we stop her from catching flies with her tongue? She said. Then she began to croak. Sugar Plum Fairy's magic could not make Princess Priscilla's speak, and so she said, "I'll put a silent spell on her so that she cannot speak." And so Sugar put a silent spell on Princess Priscilla. Griff said, "May I present to you Princess Priscilla of the mysterious land of Dordandia." "Soon we have to be quick," said Delphie, "or else Sugar's magic would wear off." And so Sugar magicked up a beautiful carriage. And soon Griff, Delphie, and Princess Priscilla got on the carriage. Then Griff started riding the horses towards King Rat's castle. Then Sky said, "I will go around spreading the news that everyone wants to marry Princess Priscilla of the mysterious land of Dordandia, that the Rat King will change his mind." Once they reached the palace of the Rat King, Delphie wondered if Sky had spread the message. Soon, the king's rat guard stepped in front of their carriage and said, "Who are you?" "This is Princess Priscilla. I am Delphie, her assistant, and that is Griff, our butler," she said. "Oh well, okay." The guards let her in because they knew that the Rat King was looking for a wife. Well, and then soon Delphie passed them. Then she reached the royal palace. The Rat King looked down and said, "So which one of you is Princess Priscilla?" "Ah," he said, looking at Delphie. "She's pretty young though. She's not as beautiful as Princess Ariella." "I'm not the princess," said Delphie. "This is Princess Priscilla. I'm her royal assistant, Delphie. And this is Griff, our loyal butler." And so, okay then, he took a glance at Princess Priscilla, or Toad Priscilla, and looked and said, "Oh, she's so beautiful." He said, "I will marry you right away. What do you want?" She couldn't speak because the sugar fairy, Sugar, had put a magical spell on her. She opened her mouth to croak, but nothing came out. Priscilla was surprised. "What? Is she speaking or not?" said the Rat King. Then Delphie spoke up. "Oh, she just has a little cough and she can't speak till then. But she says that she would love to marry you." "Oh, is there anything else that she said?" says the Rat King. Delphie told Priscilla to open her mouth like this. Priscilla did so. And then Delphie started nodding as if she was listening to something. She said, "And she loves your curved whiskers." "Well, I will be right down to marry you," he said. He went down and said, "Give me the crown with the rubies." "This one? This one? No, you fools, I want the one with the most beautiful ruby crown." It took him a long, long time to come down. Delphie and Griff began worrying that Sugar's spell will wear off. Just then, the Rat King came down and said, "Oh, Princess Priscilla, I am here," he said, looking down. Then Delphie looked back at Priscilla. She was so surprised. She was turning back into a toad. The king had spent so much time at his parlor that the sugar spell was wearing off. And so Delphie said, "Oh no, what do we do?" She decided to buy them some time by saying something to the Rat King. She said, "The princess says she would only like to see you if you wear a beautiful emerald crown." Okay then, the Rat King went back into his palace and started demanding his guards and servants to give him the best emerald crown. Meanwhile, the Griff and Delphie were wondering what to do. Sky had flown down near them too. Delphie said, "If only Sugar was here to dance and redo the spell again." "Oh, is it?" said Sky. "But in Enchantia, well, anyone who dances can create magic." "Oh, you're right. I can dance," said Delphie. She just started to imitate whatever Sugar did. She couldn't do the pointies because she hadn't learned them at ballet class yet. But soon she finished, and then they looked at Priscilla. Delphie's trick had worked, and Priscilla had changed back into a beautiful princess again. Soon the Rat King came back, and he broke the snow globe because the princess wanted to get married on a sunny day. They got married at the royal palace. Sugar Plum Fairy, Princess Ariella, Queen Isabella, and King Tristan all appeared there and said, "Bravo, we saw the spring sunshine and we knew you had done the job." They said, "Oh, thank you," said Delphie as she told them about how she redid the spell on Princess Priscilla, well, now known as Toad Priscilla. "If you didn't do it on the pointies, it wouldn't take too long for the spell to wear off," said Sugar. "I wonder how long it will take him to find out that his wife is a toad." They all started laughing. Just then they heard a sound. The Rat King exclaimed, "Ah! My wife is a tall, slimy green toad." "Ah!" Then Priscilla began to croak loudly. She jumped into the swamp around the Rat King's palace. "I think she wants to stay here," she said. "Well, I guess it's time for you to go, Delphie," said Queen Isabella. Well, Delphie was kind of sad. She didn't want to leave Enchantia already. But she started dancing to the music. Everyone also danced. But then she found a rainbow of colors in front of her. And so she found herself standing in her room with her red ballet shoes on. She was happy after the great adventure. She untied her red shoes and put them beside her bed. Then she went to sleep. The next morning, she couldn't wait for the auditions. Well, just on the auditions, when she was dancing, Madame Zaza was looking at her. Soon she finished, and then all of the girls went to look at their things. Soon they all went to the church and started singing. Lola came and said, Delphie, oh hi, you're here. I am the sparrow, and Poppy is the nightingale, and you're the. But before Lola could finish, Delphie had dashed off. She went to the chart to see for herself the results. They were in front of Madame Zaza's classroom. When she looked at the first was the rank of the bluebird. When she saw it, it said, Bluebird, played by Delphie Duran. Oh my, she gasped. She was the bluebird. Then they saw what Suki was. She was the rabbit. Delphie couldn't help but laugh because because Suki had told her, if you try hard enough, maybe you can become the rabbit. All of them burst laughing because of Suki. Suki wasn't very happy. Finally, at the auditions, everyone played their parts. Delphie was a beautiful bluebird. The end. Thank you.